Maybe I went too quick.
No, we're good.
Oh, you're live.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Glad you could tune in tonight. Barb, we got an exciting evening planned, I hope, with
we're
some
happy
great
to
questions.
Be back.
Yeah, we're happy to be back. Barb's tooth is feeling much better. And thank you all for all the well wishes and comments for her, because let me tell you, she needed some help getting through that.
Yeah, I was a big baby about it. I was a big baby about it, and he couldn't take it anymore.
I couldn't take the pain. Oh my gosh.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate all the good vibes and well wishes and prayers. And I made it through. Here I am. I'm back.
She's back.
We're doing the Q&A live stream tonight.
That's
where
right.
we answer your questions about stained glass.
Yeah, and then we have a special glass chat tonight for you. So that's going to be awesome. Had a lot of questions about what we're going to do for the glass chat. So we got something special. And
yeah.
Just want to say hi to everybody tonight. Merry Christmas. It's cold out. We love it.
Yeah. So we're going to do a demo. Well, I think first we'll answer your questions, and then we're going to do a demo, and then we'll have the glass chat, which is that going to be one of the question ones? The earlier question?
Well, kind of, because I have a tool to show everybody tonight.
Okay.
And then the demo is going to take the place of the glass.
So I see Ray.
It's going to go on. I'm sorry, Barb.
Go ahead.
Because the demonstration is going to take, maybe 15, 20 minutes. So
yeah.
Great.
So we thought we'd put that in there.
So go pop some popcorn and stay tuned for glass chat tonight.
So Ed's going to answer those questions about putting wire around the outside of your stained glass sun catchers, why you should do it, the best way to do it. And so we've had a lot of questions about this.
About that and how to do it. And it's very, when we get to it, we'll get to it. But right now, we're going to answer some questions. And, we had one of the really interesting questions of the week through the website was drapery glass. What is it? Who makes it? And is it still available? And you know what? I'm not sure.
Let's say hello to everybody.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So Ray is here.
Ray, Merry Christmas
Judy
to you.
is here. Joyce is here. Sandy is here. CM is here. And Brenda is here.
Hi, everybody. 1, 2,
Ray is
3.
here. I don't know if I said Ray.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, everyone. It's good to see everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead, Ed.
That's good. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, because I was trying to stay focused on the camera and thinking about this drapery glass thing, because I don't, if those of you that know what drapery glass is, it is probably one of the most interesting glasses ever made that allows the glass to do for you what painting would take the place of, I think. So the drapery glass actually started, just a little brief history, and then I don't want to bore you, but I don't have a piece of drapery glass to show you, because I've only seen it maybe once or twice, and most of it is going to be in your museums. Okay. And like down in some of the Tiffany windows down in Florida, Winter Park, right, Barb? Winter Park, Florida. And also in the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and also at the Chrysler Museum in Norfolk, Virginia. Now they have a beautiful window there. It's got some cracks in it, but you know what? It's a Tiffany, and it does have some drapery glass in it. So drapery glass is made similar to the traditional way, where the glass is actually ladled onto a steel table. Now it can be different colors mixed or whatever. Usually they use colors like you would, pinks and colors you would see in robes of biblical figures, or in women where their robes are really just blazing down over top of their bosoms. And is that good? Woo! Is it Christmas?
I think that you'll be.
But anyway, but then what they do is, when the glass is on that steel table, they use almost similar to a rolling pin, a stainless steel pin, and it's inside and it moves back and forth, and you can roll it. So if you were imagining rolling a piece of dough out, rolling it a little bit, and then pulling it back to you and wrinkling it, and then doing it again and wrinkling it and doing it again and wrinkling it, this is how drapery glass is made. So I got a treat for you. found it on the internet, and nowadays Euroburrows use, well, and they may still make it. I don't know. I didn't have time to check it out, but I wanted to answer this question. But drapery glass is made by Euroburrows in this country. Now, I found a video that was made back in 2011, so I don't know that they're still rolling this stuff. But take the 1 minute, okay, after we leave here tonight, take the 1 minute and watch the drapery glass being made at Euroburrows. And yes, it's annealed the same way. It's a little bit thicker. It can be cut the same way. My suggestion is mostly that glass is used in small pieces. The other thing is if you were making a panel of a woman's robe going across her, my suggestion would be, number one, is cut that glass first. Don't cut everything that's up against it and then try and make that piece of glass cut, because it may or may not happen for you. But so cut that piece of that glass first and then bring everything to it, because it may or may not break exactly the way you need it. And it's also got those, remember, it's got folds in it, okay? It's got folds in it, just like this, just like my shirt right there. This glass has folds in it, and the edges sometimes are up. So when you're using this glass, you're actually going to be foiling that edge and filling in that edge of the glass to make it all part of the same unit. This drapery glass, y'all, is awesome, and I've spent enough time on it, but it is one of the most beautiful glasses ever made that does a lot of work for you just by simply the artist taking care of it for you.
So what was the name of that studios that has an article about it?
Yeah, so I want you to go also take a look at this article. It's on the internet. It's by Century Studios. Okay. Now they are the foremost glass studio in the country in St. Paul, Minnesota, about Tiffany reproduction lamps, and they do a lot of restoration work, and they have a really extensive collection of this drapery glass and also a bullseye. And I think they buy this glass for their projects, not to sell, because the drapery glass, y'all, has got to be just out of sight when you can find it. But it comes in multiple colors and color combinations, and it does so much for your work. So just another new glass tonight, drapery glass.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. That was very interesting. So, yeah, check that out. It is very interesting. And
well, and it's good to know that it's made or has been made in the past here in the United States in sort of a production kind of thing, you know?
So, let's see. A lot of people on tonight. Kathy would like everyone to pray for Kentucky. And so, yes, many prayers to Kentucky and from our family and from our glass family. That was a horrible thing. It's still a horrible thing. And they're going to need help.
They're going to need help for an extended period of time. So,
yeah.
So from our extended glass family, anything that anybody can do to help, there's ways and means to provide that help from you for them. So thank you in advance.
Yeah, thank you. How about Baroque? Is it still okay? Is that the first question? I think it is, but the first question, how about Baroque? Is it still available?
You know, I don't know, because the Baroque was made by Spectrum, and now that's Oceanside. But you know, they may have a Baroque. Yeah, they may have a Baroque.
I've seen it on the.
It's all System 96. That's all. It's a little more expensive. I used to make the joke that Baroque glass used to Baroque me.
Yeah. The Baroque glass may still be available. I'm not sure that that's what they call it, but I've seen it on some of the websites. I don't know if it's from the old Spectrum kits or not.
Yeah, I don't know, but
that's a good question.
Right.
Check Oceanside.
We have a sheet of the cinnamon Baroque. Isn't that pretty?
Oh, awesome. It can be used for so many
different things. Yeah. So
Another question. Did we ever have to unsolder a piece of glass you had soldered to a project? If so, how would you go about unsoldering it away from the project?
That's like unringing a bell.
Well,
No, actually, it's quite, if it's in the center, right? Is it copper foil?
sounds like.
Sounds like copper foil. So yeah, if it's copper foil, what you want to do is they make such a thing so you don't make a mess. Is they call it a solder sucker, but it's actually something that you would use to clean out a nasal cavity in a baby.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Forgot
okay?
about that
It's
thing.
a little bubble, almost like a turkey baster. Okay, so what you want to do though is you want to make sure that you've got a little bit of
Do we
water
have
in it.
one?
I don't know if we do. We have a turkey baster, but it's at the house.
No, the solder sucker.
It's called a solder sucker, which is like, but it's
We'll
a
bring
little
one
bubble
on.
and it's got a little tiny plastic nozzle on the end of it. Make sure there's water inside that. And before you remove the solder, you squeeze it by holding it up. Okay. And then you melt your solder and you suck the molten solder up
No
into the water. And it really does work pretty good. So then once you do that, what you want to do to remove that piece of glass is score it a lot of times and then turn it over and break it. And then if you can stand that window up, pull all those broken pieces out from the center and then lay it back down and re-enter your piece. It's a very simple method. And I've been using it for years on repair work because it's the only way you can do it. I mean, you can heat it up and wire brush the solder off, but all the solder does is move over to the next piece and you got to clean that up. Use a solder sucker, remove the molten solder, just suck it up, clean out that nasal cavity on your stained glass window, and you'll find it's much easier to do and it'll move a lot faster for you. Time is money, and the solder sucker saves you that.
Do they sell it as a solder sucker?
I believe they do.
Really?
I believe they do.
If they do, I'll provide a link. But I think for the January
If not, big
live
lots.
stream,
Okay, go ahead. We'll do a solder sucker
we'll
removal.
do a solder sucker removal.
Say
process.
that 3 times. Solder sucker removal.
I think that would be fun.
But yeah, that made me think about that, because
I forgot all about that.
I had to, that brass window the other day, I had to take the solder joints apart.
That's right. And you didn't have a solder
I didn't have a solder sucker, but I heated it up and I brushed it away from the joint. And that's fine if you don't have a lot of other pieces of glass around it. It only had 2 other pieces. So yeah, but anyway, solder sucker, it works. The solder sucker is a good stocking stuffer.
Sucker. Yes, it is a boogie sucker for babies.
For babies, yeah, it's a nasal.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. So you can get that at Walgreens in the baby aisle, anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows that? Somebody
Somebody's got
has
a baby.
Had a baby.
Had a
Used
baby.
to have a baby. Yeah. I don't know if they still do that for
Yeah,
babies?
they do.
Okay. I know my babies had to have them.
If it
Little
was my
nasals
mom, she
coming
was
down.
trying to get me to blow my nose at 2 months. Who knows?
Oh, they have them on Amazon, Sandy said. Okay,
Okay,
well, we'll
great.
put a link for those who can't find it. People come back and look at this video after the live.
It's a lifesaver, that solder sucker.
I know. And so if they have a question about it, we will put a link so they can find it.
Okay, great. And that was a great question about how to clean up and expose that broken piece of glass quickly so that you can get back in there and go on.
Yeah, because sometimes it'll break when you're soldering it and you have to take it out. And, it's hard to save it after you have to unsolder it. Sometimes it gets too hot, it cracks.
So you have to be careful. So you just get that really hot, and while it's molten right behind it, just suck it up and you'll see it. It'll be, excuse me, y'all. I have to just kind of sit up and stand up, and I'm back again. I'm sorry.
We have 2 different color reds on. We didn't
That's
plan
Barbara's
very
is a true Christmas red. Mine is a red that maybe one of Santa's elves is wearing because he's working in the toy store right now.
well. I don't know.
But I have my Grinch green bandana on,
Uh-huh.
and there's not a Grinch bone in my body, I promise you. We love this time of year, don't we, Barb?
Yeah, we do. So update on Ed. He's getting his hip replaced February 6th.
Yep.
And we are leaving for, we're going to be on vacation. We're going to be
Starting tomorrow.
starting tomorrow, and we will be back in
Live
the
stream.
store
Yeah.
and live streaming on January 3rd. We may be giving you updates, but we don't know what kind of reception we're going to have where we are.
Yeah. So we're kind of,
and we'll be back and forth. So we might pop in, but we'll be doing some videos while we're away. And
Dixie got her nails clipped today. Going to give her a bath tonight when we get home. So
Arty is on a real trip finally.
We're on it.
We're on it. So we're excited. Thank you, Ray. Thanks everybody for being here.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks y'all for tuning in tonight. This is really,
Nantucket
really great.
Red for you.
Okay, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. So that is really good.
Yeah, we used to have a stripe this color on our sailboat. Remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Good luck with the hip, Ray said.
Hey, my doctor said 45 minutes for the surgery, and I just looked at him. 45 minutes for the surgery, hour and a half in recovery, 2 hours of physical therapy, and they're going to put me in the car and send me home.
Oh, I think it's February 7th. I said February 6th. That's a Sunday. I'm sorry. My fault.
Yeah, February 7th, Monday morning. And my doctor's had his hip surgery. I didn't ask him if he did it himself, but
obviously he did.
Obviously he did, but he said it goes really smooth. They treat it as an outpatient surgery now. So, you know what? I am so excited just to get rid of the pain. Will be.
He's been in a lot of pain, and so we've been hobbling around here like two old people.
Two old people blowing glass.
Okay. So, any more questions? Everyone's Christy's here. Brenda's here. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Good to see everyone. And I've seen a few. Okay. Question: can I use zinc cane in a leaded window as internal support?
No, I wouldn't do that. Because zinc is a rigid metal and lead is a soft metal, and it's still going to move, and eventually those solder joints are going to come loose on the zinc. The zinc from the lead are going to come loose. You would be better off to use a restrip inside the lead, the brass restrip, put it inside the lead if that's what you need to do. But I wouldn't put zinc inside of a window. And it's the zinc isn't going to finish the same way the lead does, and the restrip is hidden and will do a much better job for a longer period of time. Just when you're putty glazing it, make sure you get that glazing in there, because if that restrip is moving back and forth, it's not doing you any good. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. You don't want the two.
No, you don't want those two materials together. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm not a big fan of putting zinc around the outside of a stained glass window either. I would prefer that you use lead and then put it in a wooden frame, or use lead and put it into, the window itself. But the zinc, don't hang it from it. Zinc is not designed for that.
But some people use it as a frame.
They do. They do.
Okay.
But not on a large window, and definitely don't hang it from the zinc, because it's not designed for that.
Okay. Different opinions on that. Some people swear by it, but we have not found that to be successful long term. So
there's a lot of people.
We've been in business 35 years.
Yeah,
so
and there's a lot of people that bring in that same project to me to be repaired. And if they don't want to put it in a frame, I'll fix it, but I'm not hanging it. And I'm not hanging it for them.
Okay. So we have a question. Have you ever used Colonial H cane? It looks like an arrow, kind of.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I've used the Colonial zinc, not the cane. I've used the Colonial zinc.
What did we use that on?
It used to, in some of the zinc doors that were coming from overseas, we were doing repairs on them, remember?
I'm trying to think of whose doors.
Oh, the ones down in Wausau. They were getting broke.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah,
so that's seen it before.
Yeah, it was coming in a lot of the doors when it was prefabricated, and then all it was just they were just glue chip with this Colonial zinc in them, and they were pretty easy to repair once you knock the glass out of it. Again, it's so rigid. After a while, the solder joints just crack because the glass, everything is so rigid, it doesn't move.
And then it makes it harder to repair in place because that zinc has to get so hot.
Oh yeah, and you better clean it good if you're going to solder it.
Solder joint, that it's a little bit different. So we have more questions coming in.
Great,
It's kind of
this
nice.
is
We have a
awesome.
lot of people here. And so the next question, Brenda asked, do you need a different black patina for zinc versus lead? She's seen zinc patina and wondered if it was needed.
It's possible, but if you steel wool it and clean it really good, your black patina is going to work just pretty much the same. I mean, zinc, when you patina zinc, it's spotty anyway. It's gray, it's dark, it's gray, it's dark. So it's not, it's not like a definite all the way through the process on a copper foil project. But, there again, it's zinc. So, I don't know. I've never tried. I've never had to. I don't use zinc around the outside of anything, y'all. So I'm sorry.
So I think it's that they're trying to match the patina on the copper foil, the black patina, to
Right.
the zinc on the outside. And so
the only way to do that is to tin the zinc, right?
Yeah, you could tin the zinc.
You can tin the zinc if you want to. Solder's $30 a pound, but you can tin the zinc, and it'll all be the same color.
You can do that.
Okay, it's kind of like the process that those of you that build lamps, if you take a copper or a brass vase cap and you try to clean it and patina it, it's going to be spotty. If you take a copper or a brass vase cap, steel wool it, put a little pack of salt in a cap full of patina and wipe it on the brass vase cap, guess what? It's going to turn jet black and it'll stay that way forever. And it won't be spotty. It'll be beautiful. That's the old salt in the black patina trick.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. The salt. So try that and a wire brush.
Try salt. Wool. Yeah. Try salt in the black patina on the zinc. See if that works.
Yeah. We've tried a lot of things. I think we've even painted the zinc black.
I've painted brass before, brass joints with paint, with brass looking gold paint before.
Yep, whatever works. When you add wire overlay, do you still polish and wax your piece, or is that too hard on the wire overlay? And that's a question from Sandy.
Well, hey, Sandy, that is a good question. But your wire overlays, really, you just need to just be careful with it. A lot of times I'll go ahead and finish the window because the wires is such a small little minute place that you're going to attach them. You can always clean it up and get it ready to go, and then just attach those and come back and clean that up with a Q-tip and some black patina, and you're good to go.
Get it all ready to go in that last little finishing touches.
Yeah, because when you add wire to something, you just enhance your work like nobody's business. And I'm glad to hear that you're adding wire to your work to enhance it. Thanks for the question. We appreciate it.
Christy says she paints her zinc frames because she never can get the zinc to take a good patina. There you go. Because you can paint that.
Zinc will hold paint.
And oh my gosh, all those colors that are available.
Yeah, zinc will hold paint. That's not a problem at all.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
A lot of good questions tonight. And another one, when using copper foil instead of flux remover, can I use soap and water, or should I use isopropyl alcohol, then soap and water to clean off flux?
Warm soapy water. Warm soapy water. Wash that window.
Dawn
soap. Yeah, Dawn dish soap. And we don't get a plug from Dawn either, but I like the way they treat the ducks on TV.
I like warm soapy water, and then I put it on paper towel, and then I like to use glass cleaner after that.
Yeah, and glass cleaner has alcohol in it, a little bit of alcohol. It doesn't have so much in it, or ammonia. That's actually the spray way glass cleaner is really probably the best.
Who is John Golden? he says you look younger in red. He said, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You look good in red and younger.
I don't know.
I
Well,
don't
thanks,
know,
John.
John.
Merry Christmas to you too, buddy. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
So, and he also said, what else was he saying?
I don't know.
Did he send us a question? He said he sent us a question. John, what was your question? You said you sent us some pictures.
About what?
I'm not sure. He sent us some pictures and had a question last week. And then he said he sent the question to the dentist. Did he get it? LOL. I don't know. John, I have no idea. If you send it to the dentist,
Hey, let me tell you
luck.
something. It's been
Good luck.
it's been a
hard
heck
enough
of a
for me.
whirlwind tour for a week, buddy.
It's hard enough for me to get the answers to
She
the
was
questions,
sick and I
let
couldn't
alone
eat.
you.
What the heck?
Christy says, he sent us some birds.
Some birds.
Okay, we missed it, John. Send it again because
Yeah,
last week was
and
crazy.
where'd you send it? Because if it went to the ARTyRV, then
I'll check that.
we'll check
email.
it. Yeah, we'll check
We're
it.
a little bit behind. Christy uses Rust-Oleum Carbon Mist. It's a soft black and turns out nice.
There you go.
Thank you.
Rust-Oleum has
Thank
a
you,
primer
Christy.
mixed with it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Christy. That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, resend that, John.
Please do.
What I'm not sure what you need it, but we missed it. I don't remember it coming in. Sorry.
No, because
Last
I know it
week was
didn't come
kinda-
directly to me. It went to the site. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been through a little bit. Okay, let's see. Any more questions? So I guess maybe we might be ready for glass chat.
Oh my.
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay. So what time is it, everybody?
It is time for glass chat.
It's
I think.
time for Glass Chat. So, hey, welcome to the Glass Chat tonight on Monday, December the 20th. So our tool tonight that I want to talk about, okay, and I can bring this up and let you see it. This little guy right here, okay, this little tool right here will help you out building small stuff. You know, this is called a helping hand. And yeah, it's available on Amazon and all the stores. Our website has the link to it. So go to our website. If you don't have one, it's really a nice little thing. And as you get older, this little magnifying glass helps out a lot too. What I found though is in order, when you go to clip this onto a piece of glass, just use a really thin piece of rubber and kind of clip it on around, around your piece of glass. So you can kind of, just like that. Okay. So you can see that right there.
And I'm going to go around.
And it turns and everything. So, and then if I really need to, I can fold this down and I can look right there and I can see things in my solder and I don't even want to see. But anyway, this little tool, Barbara's going to go around because we're getting ready to do a demo and I'm going to show you how I attach my wire around the perimeter of my sun catcher. Okay. So when we get ready to use this, we probably will. So what I've done for everybody tonight is I have completed this Christmas stocking up to the point where I'm ready to attach my stationary wire around the outside so that this stays together. Now, once we attach the wire, we're also going to attach our jump ring right here on this corner, and we're not going to have to worry about it. So the first thing that I want to do, and I think that Barb's tuned into it. There we go. Right there. So the first thing I want to do is you can see I'm using my 20 gauge. I'm using my 20 gauge wire. And that's the small wire that's the smallest wire that I have. Okay. So I'm turning this over And I've got my regular, you know, my little 100-watt soldering iron here. I'm going to get my sponge and I'm going to clean this off. And we'll come back to life. And here we go. Okay. So my wattage controller, my soldering iron controller right now is set on 80. It's a little cool in here in the building. And it's late at night. Not really late. It's only 7:30. So welcome to the gang. Welcome to the show, everybody. So we're going to do this right here. I always just lay this piece of wire right on top of this, just like that, okay? Two things are going to happen. This piece of copper wire is going to drop down in here, but also the rest of this is going to get really hot. So we're going to take this and we're going to drop that right down in there, okay? We want that down in there.
Move your hand.
Sorry, okay. All right, so now we have that down in there. Okay. So you can see that I'm wrapping the wire. Now I've already tinned all of my edges. I'm just looking over here to make sure that I'm still in the screen for you. I have tinned all of my edges. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to just take, and I'm going to make a little man out of my soldering spool here. Okay. Just like that. See how, now you see how that's just standing up by itself? That is a testament to that wire. That's exactly what it's going to do to your sun catchers. Take the time in a few minutes to make this thing the way you want it and make it look nice. So now you're just going to put your tinned wire right around that edge, just like that, okay? Just like that.
Will you be using this?
Probably not. No, I'm just going to show them how to. We're just going to tin this, and what I'm going to do is we're just going to walk around it and tin it a couple little spots, just like that. Okay. So you know, in the past, I've had you bead up the outside edge of your sun catcher. Okay. Well, the reason we're doing that is this right is taking its place. When you put this piece of wire around it, it's going to bead it up. It's going to make it nice and round. But remember now, you got to have it level. Okay. So when that cools off, now you're going to see I'm just bringing this wire all the way around here, and we're going to do this until we finish it, just like that. Okay. Just like that. I always take just a few extra minutes and do this. Ray, you're watching. You do this to the outside of all of your lamps, I'm sure. Because why? Because that's the only way they're going to stay together. I don't know anybody that can make glass stay together unless it's put together correctly. Okay? Gravity is your best friend or your worst enemy. So we're going to put a little bit right there. We're going to hold that down just like that. Okay. See how that just stands up all by itself? So now as we work our way around this, And you're right. Boy, that takes a little bit of time. You're right, it does. But you know what? Even this little piece of glass here, this little tiny sun catcher, won't ever come back to me because it came apart. And to me, that's well worth that little bit of time that I'm spending putting a piece of wire around it. If I don't have to fool with this ever again, I'm good. So we're just going to keep moving this wire right around just like that. Okay. So once we get this finished, there we go. Once we get this finished, I'm going to show you, we're going to make a jump ring together as a team. And then you, my friends, are on your way. So it looks like we just need a little bit more wire. Now you see this, you probably see this little, where my rubber is going right here on the inside of my pliers. This pair of pliers is only good for cutting wire. That's it. They're not used for anything else. And why? Because they can't be, because they're really crummy. And all I want to do with them is cut wire. Okay. So as I go around, I pull that wire tight and I get over here and we get it on there. Okay. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. But again, hey, if you don't have your customer to come back and say, oh, well, this fell apart. When they buy it, it's gone. Okay. Now we're back to where we started again. Okay. And we're going to overlap this piece of wire, just like our copper foil, 1/4 of an inch. I'm sorry, I got my solder in the way, guys. Trying to ease the pain here. We want to make sure that that is only about 1/4 of an inch longer, because we don't need it any longer. It's all good, y'all. Okay. And finally, a little bit of flux right here on the edge. And this will join those two pieces of wire together, just like that. Okay. Okay. So as we go around this little piece here, we're just going to make sure that the wire's in, and we'll come over here. Now we got to make sure we get it in that corner there and make it look nice. Okay. So now we've got our wire all the way around this. I can pull on this and pull on this and pull on this. It's not coming apart. So let's do something really crazy. Let's take our flux brush and make a jump ring. We're going to take our flux brush and wrap our 20 gauge wire. You got that, Barb? This is our jump ring, guys. 2 winds of the 20 gauge wire. Put them in those crummy pliers that are used specifically for cutting wire. Okay. Now we're going to put these in our pliers right here, just like that. We're going to get us a little bit of flux. Oh, you get on my sponge down there. There we go. That's better. So we're just going to get this wire all, make sure it's all covered up. That's all. Yeah, it's okay if your customer knows there's wire there because it's there for a reason. They know you took the time to sell them a product that's not going to come apart. And you know what? Yeah, I know this is just a simple little stocking, but you know what? I sold 14 of them last weekend. Simple little stocking right back here, looking good. We got a little area we need to clean up here because it's got too hot. Now, if I wanted to, and I will, we'd take and patina this after I wash it off with some warm soapy water, and then we're going to get it cleaned up. So I hope that helped you with adding wire to your sun catcher, because I promise you, it is not coming apart, and you can do this with just about anything. Lamps, Ray, I know you do a lot of lamps, buddy, and that's exactly what has to be done to all of those, and you know it. Otherwise, gravity will pull them apart. So anyway, this is Ed for Glass Chat. Thanks for tuning in with me on our Glass Chat. Let's get back to the live Q&A with Barb and Ed.
Well, do y'all have any questions about that?
Excuse me.
January 3rd. When is the next live stream? January 3rd. It's on a Monday. Unless we pop in before then, we might do something before the 1st. We're going to be kind of in and out of town. We got to go by our house, come by the store. So there's a lot of things going on. We're not just going to be laying back and
then we
not
have
doing
to
anything.
pop back in and get groceries and head back out.
So yeah. So, but we still have time for questions. The process Ed showed you, of course, would be much different for a bigger panel. You'd have to set something up where everything was level as you went along the process.
Right. This is just something I can hold my hand. So.
Yeah. So I hope that helps some of you that were having a little stumbling there, applying wire and making hooks.
Yeah, and the simplest, the smaller diameter wire that you can use to strengthen your piece, the better off you are. So.
Okay, with wire all the way around, could you attach the jump ring to the piece instead of at the joint?
Yes, you can, because now there's nothing pulling it apart. There's nothing that can go this way because the wire's all the way around it. You know, what you want to do is your wire should go inside your piece as well. Okay. So that it all becomes one. It doesn't have to go all the way through the piece, but it has to go in it and then around it and then back and then overlap it so that it's all tied together as one.
Okay. There was a question. Did you wire wrap the kayak?
No.
Not on the video. No, he didn't.
Not on the video. No.
He did not. He should have, right?
Well, if you think about how the kayak is designed.
That's true. That's different.
Okay. Think about how the kayak is designed for just 1 minute. Okay. The kayak has a vertical line directly up the center, and it hangs from that line, which means that it's hanging actually technically from the bottom. It's pulling all that weight from the bottom up to the top. So
a little bit different.
It's a little bit different because of the way it hangs. It is securely hung from the vertical line that runs down the middle of the kayak.
Would you use hobby came around it? If would it have the same effect?
No,
no.
no, because hobby cane or any cane will stretch.
Yeah, and John said it would be more expensive too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, and it doesn't do the same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't do the same thing. This wire, this is a 1 pound spool of wire here. I think I paid $19 for it, and I probably had it a couple years already. So
on something that small, does it need wire around it? Not as much as the other.
if you don't, if you put the hook within the joint, eventually it'll still come apart. My suggestion is to put the wire around it and clean it up and make it look nice. And then you can put the hook anywhere you want. You can put the hook here.
Which might look better.
Which might look better right in the center of this.
Or right there.
Or right here. Or
then
right
you can put a pretty little ribbon on it. That would be really cute.
So you can, if you don't have the wire on it, you definitely can't hang it here because the copper foil is going to pull right off of it. With this wire on it and soldered all the way around it, that wire is as stiff as a piece of wire that big around. Think about it.
Yeah. So yes, you could do that. You could put the wire on the top. And Kathy Stearns wants to know, what about a feather? Is it needed on the feather designs? I can't remember how that.
On the feather, who's Kathy? Kathy on Kathy, on the feather, what you want to do is a V. Let's say you're going to hang the feather this way. Whichever way you hang the feather, because those points come off and then they're kind of like there, but stabilize it with a V so that piece can't come off. Does that make sense?
I put it within the
yeah,
piece.
because let's say your feather's hanging out like that. And this piece is liable to come off in that joint. So just put a V into a piece of wire attached to the main body of the feather, and then a piece attached to the feather, the piece that comes off of the feather. You don't have to go all the way around. It would be better if you did, but at least if you support the pieces that come off, and then definitely make sure that you're supporting the area that those feathers are going to hang. If you support the entire body, you can make the feather as large as you want. Just change the size of from 20 gauge to like 16 gauge wire, and you can make that feather as big as you want.
So the important thing is to get that wire into the joints of your piece so that it has something.
So that it all becomes one.
Yeah.
We used to do airplanes and fish that were 36 inches long, mahi fish. And we wrapped them all with wire. And you know what we did? We hung them from chains from the ceiling, and they never, ever came apart, did they?
No.
Never.
And I'm sorry, I've missed questions that were going on while I was behind the camera, so I'm going to try to get back to them.
Okay.
Are we using 60-40 solder there? No.
I'm using 50-50. I use 50-50 in our glass studio because we do a lot of lead work, but we also do a lot of copper foil repair work. And I just prefer the 50-50 because it works. I can work faster. And I use the Victory white metals solder, and I love it. And I use their 50-50. Nothing wrong if you're using 60-40. Nothing wrong at all. If it's just what you prefer. Right now, you're going to find 60-40 solder is going to run you close to $37 a pound. So 50-50 is going to run you about $29.
Okay. Have you ever used a Weller model GT to solder with? I know you're not using a user of soldering guns, but have you tried this? The Weller model GT. Not sure what it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is either, but if it's a soldering gun, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, we can show you. We recently got a soldering gun from Hako.
A soldering iron.
Hako or whatever for free. It's not, I don't know what they thought
it's
we did here.
It's a butane torch soldering iron. Soldering.
I can't use it for stained glass.
It's good for radio electronics. That's it.
I'm not sure about the Weller Model GT
No.
and how it's different from. That's a Weller?
No, this is
that's
a Weller.
Unger?
This is this used to be Unger, but Weller
Okay.
bought Unger. But this
Okay.
is their 100-watt. No, this is their 100-watt. What used to be Unger iron, and this tip here unscrews. It's still too hot for me to grab, or I'd show you how to do it.
Okay, at the beginning of our videos, we show a beautiful stained glass piece with ARTyRV Glass Studio. Was that a project we made? No, I think that's just a graphic. If it's got the van in the middle of it, I think that's just a graphic. Everything else is our original work in our videos, yes. If it's a graphic, it's not something that we did in that opening. But everything else, yes, on our videos is original. Do we always use 50-50?
Yes.
Yes. Because we've always used it. It's what we're used to, and we know the working temperatures.
And it's more flexible as far as the 60-40 solder is more rigid, but that's good because it's for using with copper foil, and you need that rigidity of the tin in it. So
That's right. Okay, so lots of questions. If I've missed any of your questions, please write the question again, and that way I won't have to scroll all the way up and miss more questions. But I think I got everyone. Christy had another question. Speaking of attachments, how do you all do a stake attachment to a glass garden stake? How do you attach the rod itself?
Well, the rod itself needs to be copper. Okay, copper or brass. You can use brass welding rods. You just have to get them a little hotter. But that's how you attach your piece to it, is you will actually solder it. And sometimes I have gone as far with copper post is to wrap copper foil around it in the area, copper foil tape in the area that I need to solder. And then I take and solder that. And then I attach it to the work that goes into the garden.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to use either brass or copper. You can't use anything else. Okay. I mean, I've found if you want it to live long, use brass or copper, and use welding rods. They come in a multitude of diameters, and it's, and they're usually 3 foot long. But copper rods now are up to 10 foot because they are ground rods that go in your home, and they have to be driven in the ground 6 feet. So.
Okay. And what temperature for the 50-50 solder?
It depends on the weather. Depends on how cold it is. Like right now, I would be running, because of the temperature in the studio, I'd be running about 80%, which is probably about 410 degrees, 412, just enough to melt the solder, but not melt my lead.
That's it.
You got to do a
can
test. Everybody's iron is different, just like everybody's hair is different. Your iron is different than my iron, even if it's the same iron. And it all works around humidity and air temperature and air movement. So if you've got a fan blowing and I don't, I can work on 70. You're going to have to work on 90. So do that test, get your lead out. It's time to get the lead out. No. So get your lead out and do that test. And if you can't set your soldering iron on the lead and go 1, 2 without it melting, it's too hot.
So just cut a little strip of lead, get some solder, just test your iron. You'll eventually know, but just do some testing. You'll figure out the sweet spot.
And you'll figure out that sweet spot for your iron, just like you figured out the sweet spot for your glass cutter. Think about it. Those tools are your tools, and they obey your rules.
Wow.
Awesome.
Lots of good information from Ed tonight. We really appreciate it. I bet you my coffee's cold.
That's okay, but here's to your Santa.
Cheers.
Cheers to your snowman.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
This is awesome. And you know what? We're not going out to eat tonight for one reason, because we're packing the RV.
Okay, we got another question.
All right.
Why are some glasses harder to cut? I just finished my first piece. Congratulations. And that's from Mary Beth. Congratulations, Mary Beth.
Congratulations, Mary Beth. Everybody give Mary Beth a attaboy. That's a way to go. So your first piece, you're going to find that it's actually, as you're learning, you're going to be cutting glass better because you're going to be applying the same amount of pressure. Now that you're learning how to cut the glass and learning how to work with it, the annealing process is pretty much standard all the way across the board. You're going to find that your textured glasses, okay, you don't need to put as much pressure on as you do the smooth glasses. Practice all of your cuts, okay, on window glass. Learn how to cut your glass on window glass before you spend the money on, expensive colored glass. But if you're having trouble cutting one glass versus another, it's not the glass, okay? And it's really not you. It's the learning curve that you're in the process of taking. And just practice.
And some glasses are easier to cut because the annealing process and the way the glass is layered.
Well, yeah, if you're cutting clear glass or cathedral glasses, right? They're soft, okay? If you're cutting a glass that, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful because it has blue, green, and white in it, every time you hit a patch of white, because those glasses are made with ladles, okay? Ladles of white, ladles of clear, and ladles of blue. And then they're mixed together with an iron that's just got a hook on it. And then they're rolled through. And those glasses are stacked on top of each other. Mm-hmm. And if you've never seen the process, I encourage you to, like that video from Ouroboros on that drapery glass. Watch that 1 minute out of your life, and it will give you the experience of a lifetime. Because now you've just learned something new. So do take the time to cut some different glasses. Window glass is the softest glass that you can cut. And you can feel the softness in your fingers. I can't, anyway.
Yeah, eventually.
But
you'll feel it when you touch it.
You'll feel it when you touch
it. First time you cut it. Okay.
And first time it cuts you.
Another question.
Hey.
Is there any advantage to have your glass at a warm temperature to cut it? Is cold glass cut different?
Absolutely not. Warm glass doesn't cut correctly.
It doesn't?
No.
Or
hot glass. I'm sorry. If you have a piece of glass that's been in the sun or something and you try to cut it, it's going to break in a million different ways from Sunday. So cold glass, the cold doesn't bother it, but the hotter the glass gets, especially if it's hot in one area and room temperature in the other, when you score it, it'll go to that hot spot, and the run will go in a half circle and come back to you sometimes. So the fact that glass is cold doesn't hurt it at all, because I've taken glass off the truck and cut it right out there in the parking lot, and it's 20 degrees outside. It doesn't matter. But if there's a piece of glass on the truck that's been sitting in the sun and I go to cut it, it goes 20 ways from Sunday, and I can just about guarantee you I don't get anything out of it.
Do you think that's because the molecules are starting to move around when it's hot?
Have started, yeah. Again,
okay.
Because when glass is hot, the molecules do this. They're very unstable when glass is hot. As the glass cools down in the annealer, the molecules go back and they fit together. Once the glass is cool, the molecules are aligned, and now it's ready for a score to follow your direction. So think about it.
Think about it.
Think about it. This wonderful medium that we all work within is fascinating, and is one of the most fascinating products in the world.
It is.
It is. And that, my friend, gives you something to think about.
So I did want to tell everyone, this is big news to us. I mean, we're really excited about this. If you go back and look at our live streams, they're all getting categorized. So you say you want to look at a live stream and you want to know what's in it, it's chapter. You know, someone asked this question, someone asked this question. You can go right to the question. You don't have to scroll all the way through.
Or watch the whole video, but we'd appreciate it if you watch the video.
Yeah, you can, and you can go back. So eventually all the live streams will be done like that. So it's just started happening. We're really excited about it. And
it's making it happen.
So
and it's making it easy for you.
And I've started doing that on some of the videos, but then YouTube started doing it. And I guess we got a lot of good information there because, I mean, it's just going to be real helpful for you guys. So just wanted to give you an alert for that. If you're looking for information, go right there.
Yeah, because I mean, that's awesome.
Streams.
You know, that's done
so we'll go
for
in.
you.
Yeah, we'll go in and try to
because time
help you out a little bit more so you can find that information when you're looking for
money.
Yeah, it's
you know. So hey, if anybody out there, this is your first time to the channel, we would appreciate a thumbs up, maybe if this is helping you, or even subscribe, because as the new year comes around, we've got great things coming up and more information for you to learn how to work within this great thing we call glass.
Yeah, and so I don't know, have I done everything we need to do tonight? I didn't hit the subscribe thing. We don't need the glass chat there anymore. Take that down.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely Monday, January the 3rd. Okay, that's going to be our next live stream. We may catch in or post some pictures throughout our holiday season while we're on vacation, and we're looking forward to it. You know, we haven't been anywhere in a while, and we've got some great things coming up. And
our store is almost completely our online store is almost completely sold out of ornaments. We might have a few. I don't think so. Don't order them because we don't even have time to ship any out.
We turned the furnace off this morning when we got here, and because we can't let it run at 2150 degrees for the next little bit of time.
So. But we're almost completely sold out anyway. And we appreciate all the
big
orders.
Thank you guys from the orders.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is awesome. The first year we've really had time to enjoy the season, and it's been a wonderful holiday for us.
You guys have made our holiday season for us as well.
It's been great.
So, you know, all these new friends, Barb, and things going on. And,
I know.
It's just, cool. It's almost overwhelming. But I think it's more emotional than overwhelming. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
But you know.
And you know what? Just above that subscribe button is a bell. So if you'll touch that bell for us, it'll let you know.
Right there.
Right there. Just like that.
Okay.
It'll let you know that it's time to fill your car up with gas.
If you remember those days.
If you remember those days, that's right.
Okay, so we're going to say, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
And Happy Hanukkah.
And happy holidays to everyone.
And we're going to go ahead and head out. If there's no more questions, any more questions, I don't think so. We're going to go home and feed our puppy and load up the RV, and we're going to head out. We'll be videoing while we're gone, so we'll be able to share some things with you. But the first time we can get some time and some free time, we'll pop in for a few things. But look for the live stream January 3rd.
And the first stop tomorrow for Barb and Ed is some of South Carolina's finest barbecue.
Oh, we'll have a video.
We'll have a video of that too.
So, I don't know. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Bye-bye. Trying. It's not going. We're still here.